Hello, this is Connecting Africa. I'm Eleni Jakos. In the show, we are looking at the people and companies connecting the continent and changing the way businesses operate. Aerospace manufacturing in Africa has been gradually developing over the past few decades, with more and more companies, particularly in South Africa and Morocco, as well as Tunisia, supplying parts to major aircraft manufacturers. The potential is huge, with the global value of the aerospace manufacturing sector estimated at over $1.5 trillion. South Africa has the most developed industry, with an annual revenue exceeding $1.8 billion, employing thousands of skilled workers.
Many people flying around the world in sophisticated modern jets built by Boeing and Airbus and others may not be aware that some of the parts in those sophisticated aircraft were made in Africa.
Welcome to Aerosud. We're a supplier to the international commercial aerospace market. Our main customers are Boeing and Airbus, and we manufacture products ranging from thermoplastic parts to composite parts to major assemblies.
South African aerospace manufacturer Aerosud became the first supplier to Boeing on the African continent 20 years ago.
All the major jets and business and general aircraft are manufactured outside Africa. So African companies, if they want to get in on the supply chain and the value chain, they have to form joint ventures with major international aircraft manufacturers like Airbus and Boeing. And they're doing this, and it's been very encouraging.
African Aviation Services has been working with major players in African aviation on how to develop the industry for the past 30 years.
South Africa definitely is leading the way. If you take the overall aerospace industry in South Africa, it's highly developed. Aerosud is one of the most successful aerospace companies in Africa and in South Africa in particular.
If you are flying a new aircraft that was built after 2005, you will find that there's thousands of parts on that aircraft manufactured and delivered from Aerosud. So it means that in the end, our product is essentially back in the aircraft that would come to South Africa or the region.
While they're the largest privately owned aerospace manufacturer in South Africa, they're not alone in contributing to the supply chain on the continent.
In South Africa, we have an ecosystem of aerospace design and manufacturers of roughly 100 companies that you can typically recognize as brands and as exporters. In Africa itself, if you look north, specifically at Tunisia and especially in Morocco, you will probably find another 300 companies out there that are typically joint ventures or sister companies of big suppliers to the OEMs.
Aerosud exports to Safran Electrical and Power in Morocco, but the majority of parts are delivered to Airbus and Boeing in Europe and the US.
In addition, however, what we can do is we can subcontract some of the manufactured items in South Africa. And for that we have developed quite a nice supply chain in South Africa of roughly 10 companies that work closely with us.
Stein believes that more public funding is necessary to localize the supply chain further.
We have no local program or domestic program that aims to develop any products in South Africa. That means that the companies typically have to fend for themselves and to look for opportunities outside the country. And that in itself is one of the biggest barriers.
That's very much the case. I think one of the things to emphasize in aerospace manufacturing is that it requires you to be part of what is called colloquially an apex sector, a sector that for the rest of the industry sectors spawn out new technology, innovation that gets picked up by other sectors. which is where your leadership in terms of technology development and technology leadership comes from.
There are signs of growth in niche areas of the aerospace industry, with a South African startup building the first CubeSat satellite on the African continent in June this year.
These smaller niche technologies are going to have quite a boom in the coming era. And I believe that's where Africa should really be aspiring to go to.
Coming up next, we reveal how Morocco has managed to develop a thriving aerospace manufacturing hub.